Hello, everyone. Okay, so I have 3 cards pulled from my Weird World Tarot deck, and I have 1 Queen of the Moon Oracle card pulled for you. Please take what resonates and leave the rest. I'm seeing a clear situation come out here. 3 of Cups, Strength, and we have 10 of Swords. Okay, the first thing that happened when these came out, I was like, these two came out together, the 3 of Cups and the Strength. So I was thinking, wow, 3's a crowd. That is coming to mind big time because there's the 3 ladies here, a lot of emotions. I feel like this was starting out as like friendship. This is about friendship going awry here. Okay, if you're watching this, then you're wondering about a situation with your friends. 3 is a crowd. I mean, we all have like that person we think is going to be our bestie, right? So I think some people have a lot of great friendships with people, and some people are lucky to have their best friend with them all the time. But every once in a while, something happens where a third party enters. This has got a third party kind of feel to it, but it's not a romantic sense. This is a friendship issue. This is an issue where somebody new came into the picture. Have you guys seen Bridesmaids? So, the 2 besties do everything together, but then, one of her besties' life changes when she gets engaged, and she becomes friends with her, future husband's boss and his wife, and she has a new bestie. And so then that bestie has all the wealth and the money and is competing for her friendship all the time, and it almost drives a wedge between them. There is a way to live in harmony with this kind of thing. If you're mature about it, both of you, your friends and everything, everybody should be mature. But if somebody doesn't have good intentions, I totally get it. With what I'm seeing here, as 3 is a crowd, and everybody started off being friends and having fun, but now it feels like you're being excluded. You're being isolated. It's like, okay, you feel like the third wheel. You really do. And it's funny, I guess I sensed this because I had just recorded another reading, and I got a 3 in that reading, and I was like, well, 3 means a lot of things. It means third wheel, it means third party, it means, 3's a crowd. And I'm funny that it came out because now this came out as I'm recording this reading. You are not feeling good about this. And man, I'm just this doesn't have to end in a bad way, but in this case, this could be your bestie, or this could be someone you were friends with, and you might be younger. I mean, this can happen with women of all ages. It could happen with men too. I don't really know about the dynamics of, groups of guys. They hang out together. I don't know if they get to be in an issue where there's 2 besties and then one wants to hang out with some other dude instead. And I don't know. Jealousy sometimes happens because we can have our best friend and we don't want anybody to take our best friend away. I mean, I know, it took me like years to meet my best friend, and, it's kind of a unique situation because my best friend is a dude. I grew up with somebody considering a best friend that was also a guy. Of course, we are best friends, like, no matter what. Like, he and I are still in each other's lives. We're like family. So, being like family, and our families know each other and everything like that, no matter how much time we spend apart, we always come back and we're like, hey, you've been with me since day 1. So since we were 6 years old, this is cool. You always have these lifer friends like this. But I want to describe something to you. It's so funny because I wanted to use this analogy, but I didn't feel it right for the last reading. The tree, the parts of the tree, the leaf, the branch, and the root. I was reading an article recently about which kind of friend do you have. Leaves are the type of people that they come in for a season. They come into your life and then season changes and they're gone. These are temporary people. You might meet them temporarily through other friends, through family, through work, whatever it is. They come and go, and you're like, oh, they're a cool person, but maybe they end up, and this person can just be in your life temporarily, and they can have a big impact or no impact at all. And leaves aren't necessarily like bad. I don't think any of these are bad. The way they make it seem is that leaves are people that you can't really rely on. But these could be people that they come into your life temporarily, they make it better or worse, and then they leave. Leaf. No pun intended. But, leaves are the type of people, I believe that sometimes leaves come in, like somebody new comes into your job and then they get transferred elsewhere. or you have a friend that you know and you're like, oh, they're so cool, and you hope to spend time with them, and then they end up moving away or something. So there are people like that where you can't rely on them, not because of it's them, they're a great person. The relationship just doesn't get a chance to deepen or bond any more than that. Some people make it work and some don't. Sometimes you just lose touch with people. It happens. But in this case, like, you also have your branches. Now, branches can be like this, you know, you got 3 of you hanging out, right? And branches are here until the storm comes. When the storm comes, the branches break off. These are people that, you know, they're there for you most of the time when everything's happy and hunky-dory. But as soon as you have to go through the storm of life, you know, if you got a big illness, or you end up losing a parent or something, or, you know, you have like a major life change and you need support, they're not here for you. The branches break off because they can't handle it. Now, this isn't to say some people can handle these things, and you know, you will have those people that will be with you, but branches are people that either can't handle it, or maybe it's just, maybe they have enough to deal on their own plate. So I don't want to blame them entirely. I just want, like, branches just aren't those people to weather the storms with you. But what can is the root. What you're looking for is your roots. Your roots are your besties, the ones you grew up with, the ones that you've known the longest, that you're tight, that you always call and talk to and text and hang out with. These are going to be your people that are with you through thick, through thin. Like, they're almost like a married partner sometimes. When you have that best friend that's there for you in sickness and in health, for richer or poor, they are there for you. You know, that boyfriend dumped you, they're coming over with ice cream. They're bringing over all the fattening foods. Like, we're going to have pizza and ice cream, and we're going to binge watch a bunch of, you know, comedy movies, and, you know, or we're going to, like, just, you know, tell crappy jokes about guys right now because we're mad. You know, it's a phase. I'm not putting all guys, or, you know, men and women don't need to be grouped all together. These are individual situations. So, yeah, don't come at me. But they're going to be with you. Those branches are with you through the big things of when you get married, when you have kids, when you move, when you get a new job. These people are there to lift you up, to support you, to encourage you. They will always be there. These are the best of people. So in this case, the 3 of Cups, not the best of people. I'll take a water. I just had to have water. Sorry. So yes, in this case, the 3 of Cups, 3's a crowd, and it may have started off good. Can't speak today. But it's not going good. It's not going good now because you wouldn't be here if it was. And you're here because now you feel like you're being pushed out. The other person, and it could be completely innocent. It could be just maybe they're deepening their bond and you're feeling like your bond is weakening with your friend and you're not really liking this third party. This other person is just not for you, maybe. It happens, but this is going to take a lot of strength because you have to make a decision here. The 10 of Swords is about an ending and a renewal, so there's a couple of ways this could go. It's going to take your strength to put up with this situation. If you think you can put up with it, because if you're secure enough in your friendship that you know that this other person, oh, they're going to come and go, but they might be a leaf for your friend. They're going to be a leaf and they're going to come and then they're going to go. They're going to drop out. Or if something happens and you need to be there for your friend or they need to be there for you, they're either going to show up or they're not. If they turn out to be a leaf or a branch, I mean, you're going to find out the hard way either way. Or they're going to find out that this other person they thought was a friend can't be there for them. If you show up as a root for them, I mean, you're still going to maintain your friendship. You know, you got to handle this with dignity and grace. It's not the easiest thing to do. If this person is being underhanded and they're purposely trying to cut you out. There was a Golden Girls episode about this, I swear, where Rose's sister came to town and became besties almost with her 2 friends with with Blanche and Dorothy, and kept inviting them out and telling Rose, oh, we're going to the movie, and gave her the wrong time or the wrong directions. So she couldn't go to lunch. She couldn't go shopping. She didn't get to do anything. She got left out and it started to hurt her feelings. And then, you know, it all comes back to them. So maybe you feel like there's some kind of intentional issue here. For some of you, it could be intentional. You know if it's intentional. If this person is like, they're like, no, I want to spend time with your friend, and they don't want you in the picture, they're going to try to push you out. But you know what? Like, you know, I don't think competing over your friend is necessarily the right thing to do, because if this person wants to hang out with everybody, tough. You know, tell her, like, you know what, you guys go have fun. I'm gonna stay home. If they'll get bored and they might miss you and they might want to come find you, you know? They're gonna be like, oh, well, you know, Sally doesn't do this to me all the time, and I don't know, I'm using random names here, so, but I can see the two of you here, like, you're like done with it. You're throwing your hands up in the background. You're over here like this person, like, I am done with this shit. I am over it. You're like, I'm sick of it. And this one's like, oh, but both of you stop fighting. I just want both of you to be my friends. No, don't force them to choose. Because that Ten of Swords is one way it could go, is that you could end up getting into a fight with your best friend and losing them because you can't accept this third party here. If you're going to be unreasonable, they might see that and see that as like, oh my gosh, you're forcing me to choose. So don't do that. I mean, if you end up going down that path, it's not going to end up well. Your friendship's going to be over. It's going to just be bad blood. And, you know, you're going to end up over here alone, like missing your bestie because everything blew up in your face. The other way that it could go is that you could tough it out. You could tough it out and just realize, like, look, you're laying here. It's just rainstorm. Weathering the storm of life. I talked about it. It's coming through. And you just got to hope that your friend is a root and you be a root for them. You got to hope that this other person is just a leaf or a branch or somebody that's around but not going to be around for the tough stuff. So you might want to tough it out and be cordial, be friendly. If you don't want to hang out with them, don't. It's your choice. If you do, you have to do it with the understanding that there's three of you and all you can do is like just try to be your best self and be good to your friend, be good to the other person. And if they're rude to you, I think your friend might take notice of it. I mean, let them show their true colors if that's the case. If this person is just kind of taking over and they're not a bad person or anything, they're just wanting a friend and they're just deciding to take your friend, it may not be intentional. It just might be like, oh, some people just gravitate towards others and they want to be friends with it. This one person is like popular. But it's going to take your strength. There is another way. So you can tough it out. You can blow things up and lose the friendship. Or if the friendship really is going downhill and if you feel like you're ganged up on, if you are a third wheel and that you're being kind of forced out or left out, and if you're getting any kind of cruelty from both people, you know, involved, would you really call it friendship? I mean, if these two people are being mean to you, if they're bullying you or being rude to you in any way, are they really your friends? And if your supposed best friend is going to treat you like crap like this, I don't know how old some of you are. I mean, you're supposed to be a certain age to do this. I mean, my stuff is not bad. I mean, besides a few cuss words here and there, but, you know, it's supposed to be like 18 plus, I think, on here. But if you are young and you are experiencing this, it's like, maybe that friend is not really your best friend. Maybe there's somebody better that you can. Because if you start to not be able to trust this person, if they're starting to gaslight you or bully you or guilt trip you, manipulate you in any way related to this person could be a bad influence on them. Or they could just be wanting to be part of the bad influence. This is your opportunity. That last choice is to walk away. That Ten of Swords is like breaking off the friendship. I've had to do stuff like this where I thought I had a best friend. Every time someone else called, though, they got priority. I realized I was a backup friend, you know? Or, what is it, The Duff? Have you seen the Duff movie? The dumb, ugly, fat friend? Not really true. I'm not dumb. I'm not ugly. I might be fat. I'm definitely a friend, but to the right people. But, you know, definitely I know my worth and I love myself and I love food and I don't care. Who cares? I'm taking care of myself as much as I can. I do try to exercise and all that, but I'm never going to be exactly what society thinks I should be. And sometimes you just have to deal with it. Okay, off my high horse for a minute. But yes, if you've ever seen like the Duff thing, yeah, I had someone that treated me like actual dog shit. Yeah. When I was younger, I thought I made best friends with the first girl that moved to the neighborhood, like, or second girl. I was like, oh, she's close to my age. We could be best friends growing up. I was so idealistic when I was a kid. My imagination. I was very hopeful, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it got me into trouble with people like this. And every time I went over there, very restrictive on what we did, what we played, like if we played with dolls or whatever we did. Jumping on the trampoline was so much fun. Be like, no, get off. You can't do that. I was bossed around. I was treated horribly. And one day I had my fill. I kept getting torn between that, and like the kid's mom was always like, oh, you can go back upstairs and play with her, but no, I can't. Your daughter's a psycho. I can't do that, you know. I would always feel very shy and sheepish, and I would go back upstairs, and then only to have like my so-called friend be like, go home, get out of here. And it was hateful, and it hurt. And one day I got pissed off. I was like, you know what? I knew that I deserved better then when I was a kid. And I left that day. I walked out that door, and I was walking down the sidewalk. I was like, I am never coming back. I'm not looking back. And I never did. I stopped being friends, and that person was still very hateful to me. Like, we were supposed to get rides to school and stuff like that, but parents don't always understand the dynamics going on, so I tried to let my mother know, but, you know, we had to rely on others for rides to school in the rainy weather, and sometimes we just had to walk because that person would intentionally be like, oh, no, you can't come with us today, and hang up, and they would tell their parent, like, oh, no, they're not going to ride with us today, and we would end up walking in the rain, and my mother was so bad. Because this little kid was manipulating things. I mean, there really are brats like this out here. So, no more. I walked away that day, and I'm glad I did. Because they didn't turn out well, and just, it was great. It was better for me to have, and I met better friends, and I met friends that I still have contact with today. And friends that I've been friends with like 20 years or more. And everybody seems to have their best friend. I didn't meet my best friend until later in life, but I am so appreciative of them. They're there for me when I need them. So stay strong and make those decisions. Do you need to walk away from this? Give it time. Maybe you need to just take a break and, be kind and cordial when you need to be, but take a break when you don't want to spend time with that other person. If your energy doesn't like being around them, then don't force yourself. Just tell your friend, oh no, you guys go have fun. I'm going to do this tonight. Your friend will probably come back around. And if they don't, maybe they weren't a friend to begin with. But let their actions tell you what they're going to do. Your card is number 16, power. I love it. I'm going to put that right over strength because you have strength and power. It's a full moon. There's trust your intuition. That card is, again, we're talking about taking back power. You have the power to decide how this goes. You have the power to rise above it. Take the higher road, do what you're going to do, and if you don't want to deal with it, don't. So 16 is equal to the Tower card. That's a big shakeup. Maybe you bowing out of these events with these other two, that's going to shake things up. And maybe between the two of them, maybe they'll get bored of each other, or they'll start fighting, or your bestie will come back and go, oh my gosh, I decided not to be friends with that person anymore, or you know what, I'm better off hanging out with you. And you can always say, hey, I just want to hang out with the two of us and not that person. It's okay to set boundaries and say, this is what I want. And be like, I don't really care for that person. So, if you guys want to hang out, by all means, go do that. That's fine. Nobody can force you to hang out with them. So take back your power. And you making these decisions when setting your boundaries and deciding to step away when you need to for your own sanity, just to see how the relationship, the friendships will play out, that's fine. That's going to be the Tower moment. That's going to reveal a lot. Definitely going to reveal how this is going to play out. It's going to reveal who's your friend and who's not your friend, and who's sticking around, you'll figure it out. But there's you some ideas. So, I hope it was helpful. Sorry it sucks that you're, not feeling like you're treated well. You're feeling like you're being left out. But do what's best for you and for your peace of mind. But good luck. Until next time.